Good morning, fam. It's NFT Culture. We got Rob and John here today, and Mike, and we have the team from Lovabot. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today and giving us that time. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Like I was telling you, we love your show and we love you guys, and we're very, very happy to be chatting with you guys.
Well, I think we connected all once, probably. I think it's about a couple months ago now. We've known about your project. We started to talk about it, and we love the project and we know everything about it. We had a lot of people on our Discord that kind of saw some of the teasers, saw the Twitter page. We love it, all the good things and cool graphics you guys have coming. But they also wanted to know about the project, but also about the team. So Kunal, would you mind kind of maybe going around with your team and kind of saying a little bit of the background from you guys and how you guys came together?
Sure. So my name's Kunal, and I'm an actor in the Indian movies, and I'm also a writer. I've also just turned producer. I've signed a contract to produce 3 films over the next year.
Wow.
And besides that, I'm also an investor and an entrepreneur. I founded a crowdfunding platform about 9 years back, which is called Keto, which is now one of Asia's largest crowdfunding platforms. And I discovered NFTs a year ago, and it just blew my mind because Keto, which is the crowdfunding platform, is all about the things that I really believe in and enjoy, which is decentralization, democratization, and community. And the movies is all about storytelling and art and creativity. And, I'm often asked, which part do you enjoy more? Being an entrepreneur, being an actor and producer. And with NFTs, I felt like it was the coming together of all the things that I love, which is community, decentralization, storytelling, creativity. And that really blew my mind because I was like, this is the best of both the worlds. And that's when I sort of dived deep into it. And I realized that this is a space that I really want to sort of explore and build something which I believe is really, really special in.
Wow. I think you're also a poet. That was so poetic, man. That was awesome.
Coming up next.
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure.
So you have, so Kunal, you also have a deep tech background as well, is what I've been reading about too.
Well, I'm just curious, actually. I'm just deeply curious. I'm not. It's not like I'm, I'm educated. But education is also a strange word nowadays because you don't really need to go to a university or college to be educated. Mm-hmm. We're fortunate enough that we live in times where you can be on your phone and you can get educated. So I'm just deeply curious about everything that's going on. Sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with because it's just changing so quickly, and you feel like you always have this sense of FOMO because you feel like you're far behind and then you've got to catch up again. I'm not formally educated, but I think I'm because I'm deeply curious. I think I end up studying a lot of things online.
That's awesome. I love that. Cool. Can you tell us who? Can you introduce some of the other people from the team?
Sure. There's Sai. Sai, you want to take over?
For sure. Thanks, Kunal. While the story is probably not as poetic or as broad in terms of the experiences that have brought me here, my name is Sai, and I'm sort of your textbook definition of a accidental entrepreneur. I really started cutting my teeth in terms of building quick side projects as well as things that other people wanted to use over the years, and then subsequently started to build my own ventures. And right after business school, I wasn't able to learn a lot of things online, so I ended up going to a little bit more of a formal structure. And as I was getting back, I started building through a virtual reality company since about 2017. And most recently, the VR company was sort of acquired by Walmart, or Walmart's subsidiary called Flipkart back here in India. So we've been early to what building entire worlds look like and the technology that sort of typically takes in order to power them. That passion in a lot of ways was what translates out into the project here in itself. Because if you notice, I think we don't stop or we don't settle. The starting point logically is in order to have incredibly built out implementations of 3D, which are metaverse compatible from day one. And what do I mean by compatibility here, right? Like we mean the whole hog. How do you create an entire world? How do you have bots that are powering the world? As well as a sense of optimism, because not every time do we need to refer snow crash and everything that goes downhill. But I think technology has been an incredible lever in my life and in so many others. That when Kunal told me that here's a project where for one of the first times we're going to sort of default to the kind of optimism that technology deserves, as compared to a desolate future where everything is more of a cyberpunk theme. It was a no-brainer for me and for the rest of the team as well to pick up on that creative vision and start implementing through. And we've been at it. We've been at it for a little while, and it's been ups, downs, a lot of fun, a lot of learnings from the community. And the ones who really make it happen in that sense are Dhruva and Vaibhav and the team as well. So I'll take a quick pause, hand it over to them in order to introduce themselves too.
That's awesome. So what part of the project is kind of your focus?
Typically comes to creative storytelling from the standpoint of implementing designs, implementing the vision that Kunal has, and sort of looking at ways in order to flesh that to life. So how do you go from figments of possibilities to the final 3D designs that actually get out there and sort of enthrall a community? And if the second part is also to build like the bot and the metaverse around which the bots could sort of exist, which means utility building from the standpoint of at least coming up with the basic set and then handing it over to the rest of the team so that the team of 30 can possibly then implement it and bring it to life as fast as possible.
So what I heard was there's a possibility that Lovabots will have AR compatibility of Metaverse.
Completely. And I think it was a very conscious decision from day one to optimize the file sizes, the rendering quality, as well as the technology that can typically pass through custom skins in augmented reality on your favorite social media apps or on anything else that might come through over the years. And the second is also to make it 3D compatible from a VR sense, so that you'd be able to use these as skins, characters, implementations, game objects, and possibly any place that you have 3D compatibility with inside a virtual world can now possibly have bots becoming an important part of it.
That's awesome.
So
That's what yeah, go ahead, Mike.
So that's really cool that y'all are providing the files. Have y'all decided to work on with any like metaverse projects specifically to actually start on any integrations yet, or are you kind of going to do like more of a wait to see maybe what the community wants y'all to integrate with and then focus on it a little bit later?
Right. So we've sort of started building out a lot of the core ways that the land as well as the 3D implementation on top of it is going to start looking like. So I think from an IP perspective, you'd sort of see us making a strong push on some of the largest ones out there. The way that the game mechanics work inside the land that we build in, this could be sort of a communication first experience. This could be a gameplay first experience, or anything in between from a storytelling perspective that we want to go after. We'd like to allow for the community in order to nudge that direction through in terms of what the core elements around the time that is spent on top of the metaverse is really going to dictate through. Right? Are we here for bots in order to possibly introduce and have a conversation with the people behind them, much like this call? Or are we here in order to make something more gamer first in terms of the bots having a way in order to have a play to an element as a part of them? So the prioritization index is perhaps what we'd love for the community to drive through. And the implementation piece is perhaps where the team can come in and bring that to life as fast as possible.
That sounds really cool for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of the theme that I saw through just the project team, through the website, through the community and Discord is you guys are wanting a lot of integration with the community. You guys are looking to kind of merge together, create one vision, and create one future for Lovabots, for the lab. And I get that sense a lot. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, the seed of the project was basically, as you can tell, we're all people from backgrounds that have, technology. And the idea behind it was that, like Sai said, is that all the technology, art, or the content that we saw was very dystopian. Whereas we felt like, we wanted to create a counter narrative, which is tech optimism, and also homage to all the people that have built, whether they're the creators, innovators, artists. How do you sort of create a community that loves these people? And that's because personally in our lives, we've seen how technology has changed the world around us. I mean, as recently as about 10 years back, I would have to go down to a phone booth to make an international call.
Yeah.
And I'd be in the booth and I'd be looking at the meter, seeing how much money I'm spending, and it'd be like 150 rupees, and I'd be like, "This is too much. Okay, I'm gonna hang up and hang up." You know what I mean? That's like 10, 12 years back, and today I can be on a smartphone and I can educate myself. I can shop. I can chat with you guys. I can launch an NFT project. It's all. That's how much technology has changed our world, and I think that's something that we sort of take for granted sometimes. So we want to create a counter narrative. So everything that comes out of this community, whether it's the art, whether it's the gamification, whether it's the content, whether it's the merchandise, eventually, everything we wanted to have that sense of what our narrative is, which is tech optimism.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome message, and it really does capture the kind of the spirit of the Nifty community, like. And Nifty culture too. That's why I love having you guys on. Is we're kind of trying to foster an environment of creators and have them get together and find like we have artists who need developers, and we have developers who need projects to work on. So getting kind of a community together where people can kind of find each other and then build together, I think is kind of what we're focused on. And so it sounds like y'all have a very kind of similar philosophy that y'all are trying to develop. So I really like that y'all's project has those comparable values.
Right.
So
I think
Kunal,
Kunal often quips that we tend to overestimate how much progress can be made in 2 years and completely underestimate what can be done in 10. And no industry is more prevalent of this than technology, I think, where given changes happen around you almost on a daily basis, you sort of tend to forget, and it tends to slip behind that a tremendous number of the possibilities that are available for us right now were almost impossible to think of just about 5 to 10 years ago. And that is again the foundations on top of which something like Loverbot is built. A belief and bet that the community will continue to drive the utility layer for the project in itself. And the team is here to facilitate the same. So what we've actually been doing is building like a living, breathing portal every time that you purchase a bot. Link, if you so, and the link sort of opens out to an entire cascade of utilities that the bots can possibly pick up. Now, why are we taking community and allowing them or requesting them to build out the utility stack is because we think over a period of time, a credible NFT project is perhaps art, scarcity, community, and utility all combined in the right ratios with each other. And now who's going to push the real boundaries on top of what utility is possible, either from a technology perspective, which is making it AR compatible, VR compatible, or even from a personalization perspective, where we've been working on some super exciting ways that the bots can personalize to who exactly you are and allow for that to become a significantly easier way to make your PFPs and where you replace them to be a true reflection of both your identity as well as in some ways a smaller reflection of your own personal features that can be morphed onto the bot as well. So these have been community requests that have been coming through to us. And I just think we are sort of piping a lot of the things that people want to build out in the project and just bringing that to the utility layer here.
Yeah.
This personalization thing is something that I'm very excited about personally. Personalization personally. Is that me and Sai got chatting about the fact that what if you had a piece of art in your house which you really liked, and you could see a reflection of yourself in that piece of art, right? And then you sold it to the next guy, and the next guy could see a bit of himself or herself in that piece of art. So if the piece of art was a happy piece of art and you saw a little bit of yourself in that, would you feel that piece of art a lot more? Would you relate to that piece of art a lot more? So we got thinking about what would happen if, with your NFT, if you could see a reflection of yourself, or you could personalize the NFT. Would you then develop a sort of deeper connect with that NFT? Would you, because you're more invested, you're putting a bit of yourself into that. What would that feel like? And that was, I think, one of the things on our roadmap, which we try to make poetic. I don't know if people got that, but it was, how would it be if there was a bit of you and me, if there was a mashup of you and me.
Yeah.
And the idea really is that, can you take a piece of art and have a bit of yourself in that piece of art as the owner of that piece of art?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Malachi, another one of the founders for NFT Culture, and I were talking earlier about you. Sometimes you buy these PFPs and like you spend a lot of time, and maybe you don't get the one you want on the drop, but then you find the one you want and you buy it. And the intention is, okay, maybe it was to flip it to begin with, but then the more you hold it, the more it becomes important to you, and then the floor starts to rise, and then you're like, well, I really don't want to sell it anymore.
Yeah.
And so you guys are kind of like, I mean, it's like a supercharged version of that. So it's a great idea for sure.
So let's change gears a little bit, if you don't mind, and talk, because we have some people in the chat kind of wanting to know more about just the Lovabot project itself. Kind of, hey, where did it come from? They want to see some pictures. They want to know about how many is going to be on the drop, and so can you kind of back up a little bit and tell us about Lovabot as the project as I go through some of the graphics?
Sure.
I love the build we must. I love that.
Yeah, in the face of blood and dust, build we must.
Yes. So how did this? When you guys came together? How was the idea of Lovabot, and then also just the graphics we really loved? I know when Mike and I were first looking at this project, we first talking to you, we can see that there's been a lot of time and effort put into just the graphics, the thoughts, the story behind this. So where did the lab come from?
Well, it was something that I had an idea that it came out of the narrative, which is that how do you love a bot? The bots are technology, in this case, and it's about loving technology. So that's where the idea of Love a Bot was born from. And as me and Sai started chatting, and me and Dhruva and the whole team at Hidden and Cope started chatting, we realized that we wanted to sort of not only we wanted to start off by building a space of characters to begin with. We wanted to tell a story. So that's where the different generations of bots came in, which were the OGs, which was then as we started sort of digging deeper, we realized we wanted to give them professions as well, because it was not only about builders that are building technology, but also builders that are building the physical world. So these are people that are constantly building around us, whether it's the electrician or the medic or the delivery guy. Everyone's constantly building and making the world what it is. So we wanted this to become a homage to not only people that are building in technology, but also building in the real world. So that's where all the professions start coming in. And we realized that we were already not only creating these characters, but we were also creating a story around these characters simultaneously by doing that. So now we have 4 generations, we have 10 professions, and going forward, maybe we'll build on these professions as well. And yeah, so that was the space of the characters. And as far as the art goes, I mean, we've really sort of I want to thank these guys for being patient, because we've really worked and reworked the art till we got to the place where we felt like, okay, now this is in line with the narrative that we have. 2 months back, we were sort of, there's a friend of mine that's deep in the NFT space, and he said, you must launch now because this is the right time, and you guys are 60% there. And, you can always keep building once you launch. And we didn't want to be 60% there. We wanted to be 100% there. So we took another 2.5 months to keep building, and, that's what you see now.
Just a quick side note on that. Personally, I'm really glad you guys reworked it and waited. This is going to be in my opinion, this is going to be a long, long cycle, and we are incredibly early. So the projects to deliver well, even if they don't sell it immediately, it's said time and time again, sell it immediately isn't anything but flippers coming in, right? And a lot of hype. But when you organically grow and your community grows, and that could happen during the middle of a bear market, those are the strongest communities. And if you really, and especially for your project, I love that you're targeting builders and creative minds. And these are the people that thrive in bear markets. So your project is almost bear market immune. I mean, I don't want to just stamp that for sure, but you've got a concept that's going to attract the right people. So kudos for waiting to do it right.
And John, just jumping in here, Dhruva here from the Hidden and Cope team. There was a lot of deliberation that went into this that I think Kunal just touched upon. And what you said was right. We actually put a lot of meditation into, what we can do to make this a very long-term project. We thought about the professions really, really in depth because first when we saw the PFP projects coming out with board apes, with people licensing out their rights, we want them to license out something more, the capability to do something more. We crafted professions. We also went back and thought about, what our first responders did when we went through COVID, when we went through, the most critical thing we've probably all faced in our lifetimes. What were the best professions that we needed to sustain another society and to build something in the metaverse? And we drew a lot of inspiration from, the experiences we went through this year, through the last year. So we want to make sure that this is something that does survive. And that's why we're also powering it and making a cognizant effort to build utilities around it that allow any person that buys it or even sells it to someone else to add more value to it themselves, to give the power of building and the toolkit to the hands of the people. So a lot of inspiration, a lot of thought went into this, and hopefully, it manifests in the hands of the community very, very soon.
Fantastic. It shows in the development roadmap here.
So one thing I thought was really interesting is it doesn't look like you guys are launching on Ethereum. It looks like you might be launching on a different chain. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the technical aspects of the project?
Yep, definitely. We actually wanted to do something Ethereum compliant, and we're going to do the best we can from the projects we've learned from earlier this year to minimize gas fees to the end user, to increase compatibility of currency. We know Ethereum's a major currency. We will be Ethereum compatible, but we also want to make sure that there's a limitation on demand. There's an ability for everyone to get an inclusive and equal amount of the bots, and from other projects that we've seen earlier this year, from Bored Apes not having a bonding curve to Metaverse, having the whitelisting process, we've taken a lot of inspiration, and we're actually architecting a user first and a community first user journey, and which is why we're taking our time with our mint. We're going to make sure that it's the best experience for the end users, and there's no complaints thereafter.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited to see once y'all are ready to launch. I'm really excited to see how you did the contract and everything.
So what I wouldn't pay. What chain was it that you guys are minting on?
We're going to be doing a lot of the functionality with the Polygon team, and I guess Saurabh's here on the call to talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, with the Polygon team, we're going to make sure the functionality is off-chain, especially since we're enforcing a lot of utilities. So people aren't just going to be hitting the contracts once for mint. They're also going to be doing a lot of other utility stuff with them, engaging with the metaverse, etc. So we want to make sure that all of those are easy to do without a cost being incurred on the end user, and which is why Polygon seems like the chain for functionality. But we're still going to commit off of Ethereum, and it's just so easy and friendly to be there.
Yeah, just a quick side note there. I saw, actually, maybe it was today or yesterday, you guys are probably really in tune with this, but Polygon put out a teaser about their future as a ZK rollup, which I thought was just fantastic. I think Polygon's a wonderful chain, and they're doing all the right things to grow their market and prepare for the world of rollups. So it's going to be a super vibrant chain. So I'm a huge fan of Polygon personally.
Yeah, and also, I have to say they've been really, really supportive. The sort of support that we've got from the network and from the people involved in the network has been just amazing. I hear of a lot of people that are launching projects, and they always complain about how the chain is not helping them and they're not getting enough support and stuff. But these guys have been just amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think this whole requirement to launch on Ethereum mainnet is just, nonsense, right? It's like it's astronomical fees, and a year from now, none of us are going to be on layer 1 anyway. So it's like, what for?
Yeah, we just need people to push us out of the status quo, and we need like pioneers to trailblaze moving to the higher layer chain. So it's really awesome to hear you guys kind of being willing to take that leap, and we'll do everything we can to support you guys on that. It's definitely, I definitely agree with John. The days of Nifty's living on layer 1 are numbered, and it's for those exact reasons of if you want to really have some vibrant utility opportunities, it's just unaffordable to do it on Ethereum. Like the most stuff people are doing on Ethereum is like the staking contracts where you can like stake something and unstake something, and that's about it. Anything more complicated than that is just unaffordable. So I think it sounds like it'll be really open a lot of doors for what you guys can do with the project.
We internally also built it out as a dichotomy between intent and inertia. Intent is at least provide the community for the first time a very compelling reason to exist on top of an L2 and not just on Ethereum. And we thought utilities is a great way to get that started, right? Because if you're going to have like 20, 25, 30 utilities over like the next 3 to 5 months, and each one of these utilities has a thriving amount of functionality, both on chain as well as off chain. You don't want to have each step there gassy. So it starts to very quickly dawn on the community that we've taken a logical step in the direction where the project mandates it to, as compared to anything else. And the second is inertia, which is we truly believe that L2 chains, which are as foundationally solid as Polygon, have it only in terms of a matter of time, where there would be benchmarking projects which are super important in terms of pushing you over the line from just going to OpenSea and switching the network and possibly start seeing the best NFTs that you might without necessarily going through the gas that gives you that gives you panic at the end of the purchase process.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen for that a ton of times. I'll be ready to buy something and then see like $250 of gas to do a Nifty transfer, and I'm like, no, I'm just not going to do it. So,
Mike, Rob, I'm actually curious to hear how much gas you guys have spent this year on the Ethereum chain. Please throw it at us.
There's somebody who did I've spent a lot because I've done a lot of contracts.
You get it contracts, yeah.
So that's like 0.7 ETH a contract usually, or 0.5 to 0.7. But as far as like trading, Malachi has done, I think, something like 700 transactions this year, something really high. So his is, I'm sure, pretty bad.
Yeah.
I heard you can write it off in your taxes.
Oh, interesting.
I
mean, it's kind of like a brokerage fee in a way, so maybe it's possible.
Maybe. So, guys, we had so talking about the project again. So we got the Lovabot, and it's beautiful art, and that's what we talked about before when we first talked about this project. We love how the art looks. We can tell there's been a lot of time and effort put into this. We like the different degrees of the professions as well. How many are going to be available on the initial mint here?
So we're looking at, the total size is 9876. And
okay.
That's
why 9876?
Because that's like a countdown to a better future. We want to build a world. The Labverse has to be a place which is a better place, not a dystopian place. So it's a countdown to a better future. Some of them are going to be reserved for the team and influencers and stuff going forward, which is a really minimal amount, and the rest of it will be minted.
Are there any, I guess, one-of-ones, or are they all one-of-ones, or how, what does that look like? What is the actual structure of the mints?
So we actually worked on building out an entire tray table. Yeah, our entire combination of trade table goes over close to 1 million actually. So we're pruning that down to the top 9876. Each of them are unique, as you can see. They're just so they have so much variety and flavor in what they're doing. Especially since we segmented it from professions downwards, as Kunal explained in his vision. It's almost going to be like each of them are a completely different NFT series in their own right. But yes, each of them will be a one-of-one, no repetitions, and we're hoping that each unique person who gets one NFT will be delighted by what they have.
What's the rarest profession? Is it the same number of professions, or is it like, as you said, it trails down? Or what's the rarest profession? Can you drop that alpha on stream? Have you guys announced that yet?
So far, I saw a couple of bits that really are exciting. The first one is what we call as the goldies. The goldies sort of happen to be the most exclusive ones in terms of abilities, as well as the visual differentiation that they're a part of. And the second and more important ones would be what we call as the smaller bots, or the ones that are truly native to the Loverbot universe, as compared to the ones that are sort of taking over. And some of the art there on these super exclusive one-on-ones are things that Vaibhav and Kunal have sort of worked extensively together on. And what has been optimized for there is, don't just keep it unique, but keep it unique with a purpose, right? And that sort of purpose fulfilling piece has perhaps gone through a dozen iterations in, and we finally think we're super happy about what we're seeing there.
Yeah, that's not on the website. In case you guys are looking for it, that's going to be a bit of a secret at the mint.
You heard it here.
All right.
I love that.
Awesome.
Also, guys, there's not like one simple way of doing rarity. Like we said, we have generations, we have professions. So we want people to compete to figure out what's actually rare and what's not. So we don't want to just justify this right at the get-go.
Man, you're going to make it tough on us. And I wanted to be able to pull up the stats on OpenSea and Polygon and really quickly know which one to keep and hold.
Doesn't everyone want to?
And hey, if you don't want to hide the metadata either, that makes it really easy for us. We really like that.
Holding all of them sounds about right, guys.
So everyone's asking in the chat, you can go ahead and check out their website at lovabot.co. And I guess, guys, that's where there's not a drop date yet, correct?
No, there isn't. That's because I think what's really important for us is that we build a solid community first. Like you said, we've been building this for the last 6 months now. It's not something that we built in 2 weeks and then said, let's come up with a narrative now and then let's find some utility for it. It's something that we've been very sort of clear about right from get-go, and we've been building for the last 6 months. So we want to take our time to build a community that is solid. We don't want this to be just a project that gets hyped and then sort of disappears. We really have long-term vision for this, whether it's from the content creation to the fact that your NFT should be able to, if we are talking about a community of builders, maybe your NFT should give you access to resources that help you build and learn, right, for free. So we've got a lot of things planned, and for that we want to build a really, really solid community. So we're not in a rush to sort of put out a date or mint this. We want to sort of build the foundation first, and then we're going to go ahead and launch the date.
Beautiful. So the best place to follow you guys is on Twitter. You see everyone the Twitter right here. Also, you can check out the stream notes, join the Discord as well. That's where you can get all the community updates. And also, if you want to go to the website, and I'm guessing you guys will be, when you do mint, you'll be minting through your website.
Yes, correct. And also, just to clarify, you guys may not be able to mint a Loverbot yet, but you can still go to the Discord and figure out a way to earn one. We're really rewarding our community with these things and gifts.
Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been seeing there's been a lot of giveaways, a lot of cool promos and contests. So you can get on, you can reserve and already win one.
So how are y'all doing that mechanic? You just giving somebody basically a token beforehand saying this is redeemable, or you just making a list of folks that, their addresses, they're going to, you'll drop them a mint pass or something. Have you guys flushed that out or not
we're
yet?
doing it different ways, actually. There's some ways we're doing community bounties. There's some ways where we're doing early whitelisting for certain rewards. And there's some places where we're getting them to actually build their own NFTs. So there's tons of ways that you can get rewarded. Be a part of the community. There's just no one vector.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead. In the notes of the stream, we have the Discord, we have the Twitter, we have their website. Guys, as you get close to drop date, I'm expecting maybe what kind of, Kunal, can you give us any idea? Maybe a month, maybe 2 months? We looking maybe beginning of 2022?
No, I think, for us, within the month is
Okay.
looking at.
Okay.
Like I said, the community comes first, and building that is really important. But if I had to put a date to it, I would say within a month.
Okay. All right. So can we have you guys back on? Let's schedule another one. Have you guys come back on as we get closer to that date as well. We'd love to have you guys back on.
Sure, and we'd love to sort of come and take you through. We'd love to come on again and take you through the roadmap. I think the roadmap that we're building is quite interesting, and the next time we're on, we'd love to sort of take people through what exactly we're looking to do.
That'd be a great part 2. That's perfect. We would love to do that for you guys. But thank you guys very much for the time tonight or this morning. We'll have you guys back on. Guys, if you want to check him out now, you can check the Twitter at Twitter, go Lovabot, also lovabot.co. All their Discord, all the links are in the description of the video. Everybody, Kunal, team, thank you guys very much for the time. And we hope to have you guys back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome job so far. It's looking really good.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.